Okay, so Turtletronix V1 computer case. It's a small Canadian company. I ordered one, $79, free shipping. Plus he gave me a $9 coupon code, or a $10 coupon code, something like that. Yeah, $10. This is what I think. I got it, I threw my stuff in. It ran pretty hot. I was used to like 32 degree idling temperatures on my CPU and 30 degrees on my GPU. This idled at 48 and like 43. 48 for the CPU, 43 for the GPU. So I modified it a bit, so I'm just going to get that out of the way. These holes here, these round holes, that's not part, I did that. It had 3 vents here, 4 vents here, and 2 little vent holes here. Nothing else on the front for vent holes. I needed more. It came with 3 of these static RGB, static speed fans. They connect with a 4-pin Molex to the power supply connector, not a 4-pin to motherboard header. They don't. The front is on there well. It's got no play. It's tempered glass. It's nice. It's got a little cutout here to get your finger tippies in there. Connects in 8 spots, which is great, and it's got like aligning hole pins as well. It doesn't move when it's on there. It needed more air though, especially with these fans being static speed and they don't have a lot of power to them. They're nice and quiet, like you can't really hear them. They're not too bright. I have no complaints about the light. I did have an issue with where the fans were located. So it came with 3 of them. As you can see, like the top fan mount holes are here and here. So the fan sat like this, meaning that this big panel was directly across the fan. And I'm telling you, it didn't do anything. And the 3rd fan down below was just blocked by all the mounting brackets for the hard drives, for the 3.5-inch drives. So like that fan literally did nothing except push air against itself. And there's not an inch of space between the front of the fan and the inside of this case front panel. So I don't think that those fans are moving any air at all. I don't think they were doing absolutely anything. I moved them to here. I'll take off the side now and show you. Okay, so as I'm taking off the side panel, I'm going to mention that this is going to be something that probably some people do have an issue with. I personally didn't have a huge problem with it, but it was advertised as having a tempered glass side panel. It is a tinted acrylic side panel. Slightly different. The acrylic is nice. I don't think there's anything wrong with acrylic, to be honest with you. I would suggest, however, that if they're going to keep this case being manufactured the same with these slot holes, to get their acrylic done to have or if they do glass or whatever, but get this strip non-translucent. Make it black so you can't see any of this mounting hardware. Coming to it, the top does not come off. It is riveted on. The whole case is riveted together. It's nicely done. It was put together with like a lot of care wherever it was built. There wasn't any, aesthetic defect. There was no little edges. There wasn't a scratch. The powder coating on it is nice. It is thin material. It's probably standard for a case of that price range. Back to the front fans. So I'm gonna assume you can see this. There's a bracket right here, a small one, about 1.5 centimeters maybe, and this big tall bracket here. So it's got this nice open spot and this nice open spot. This is designed space-wise as far as the openings go to fit these two fans in, not three. The third one should be in the back from assembly. Then you're gonna have some positive pressure and some negative pressure as well. So hopefully a flow. Now, having said that, when I went to mount these fans in this position, there's no spot. The slots don't line up. These slots don't go all the way through. They're channeled, and so I just didn't mount one screw on each fan. It's not an issue to me. They don't vibrate. They don't do anything. If it becomes an issue for me when I upgrade the fans, then I'll deal with it then, and I'll just drill a hole there. But to Turtletronix from assembly, they should just have, especially considering these fans are static speed, they can't be controlled, and they don't push a lot of air. Like, they don't. I bet they probably don't even blow out a lighter. Like, standard issue Bic safety tab still on because I'm tough. See, look at that. Unless I put it right in there. Like, honestly though, she like, and you can see like it's got some suction there. I guess she's sucky. But like I said, they're not very strong, and they're quiet. That's fine. But they were just trapped. They were literally just spinning in a vacuum. That's all they were doing. Which is why I had 48-degree CPU temperature at idle. Because there wasn't any air moving. And that was compared to my old system, which I only had one fan, one exhaust fan at the back. That's it. So I put all my stuff in this case. I had 3 fans at the front and 1 at the back, and it was worse. Like substantially, objectively worse. 16 degrees C. Like that's not a slight issue, right? So it was literally just these fans were spinning in a vacuum. When they have more ventilation, this works. When they have less obstruction, this works. And I think it's great. I mean, we're talking about a budget case, right? It's fine. Just drill more holes. Make more holes. That's it. Make holes. That's all you got to do. 2 fans in the front where they need to be, so they're not obstructed, so they can actually, like, out of the 3 fans, there was less than 2 fans worth of air being pushed, and 0 fans worth of air being pushed when everything was closed up, because they were literally in a vacuum. Just completely in a vacuum. I couldn't imagine what would happen if I didn't have that exhaust fan on there. Like, my idle temps would have been out of control, like, from what I'm used to. And yes, they're within reason, I guess. Like, maybe. Like, when I was under load doing what I was doing, I hit, below 70 degrees C. But I'm used to hitting, like, less than 50 degrees C doing... I hope you saw that. Less than 50 degrees C doing what I do normally, like at full shebang and I had 1 fan. I went from 1 fan to 4 fans, and I was like running 16 degrees hotter. Anyways, put the 2 fans where they need to be. Put the other RGB fan at the back for an exhaust. From factory, done. Cover up these holes, done. make more vents on the side of the front panel. And lastly, you need to make holes here for the CPU. There has to be holes there. Every flipping case should have that. There's no reason why you can't have some holes there to suck in the air. And I can put in probably, I'm going to say this is easily less than 50% coverage, right? I could put in another row of holes in there and be a lot better off still even, and have some more positive air pressure coming in. I'm not sure if it'd be positive, but there's more air coming in nonetheless. And it's directly behind the CPU, which would in turn come through that hole. It's like it's just going to be ripped around and sucked through right by the CPU fan, cooled by the fins. Some of it's going to get here. When I get another fan exhausting here, and I'll come to the exhaust at the top in a second, like that air will just get pulled behind that motherboard and straight up through the top. Okay, so the top is an exhaust, right? So if the top is an exhaust, we never need a dust filter on the top. Like, we don't need it. All you're doing is restricting your exhaust airflow. It's unnecessary. If it's there for show, it's great. It's magnetic. If it's there for show, though, just manufacture this to look a little bit cleaner. I don't mind how it looks myself. As you can see where I put it, it's negligible. Now that we're at the top, we got one USB 3 header, two USB 2, separate mic and speaker jacks, USB/LED switch labeled as such, hard drive and power light. I don't have my hard drive or power light hooked up. I don't have my reset switch hooked up. They feel nice. It's a nice little switch, actually. The power switch feels nice as well, but I don't hook those up. I don't need them. I just plug the power switch header onto the motherboard. It came with extra hardware, mounting hardware. You can mount any TX board, but ITX. I don't think it does ITX. I don't think. You're gonna have to look on the website for that. 2.5 inch drive spots for SSD, 3.5 inch drive bays down below. We'll get to the back in a sec. It has 7 PCIe expansion slots. I only use one. So I have an intake fan here, intake and cool air directly from my GPU. Yeah, so I've got 2 intake fans, an exhaust at the top, an exhaust at the back, one intake where the PCI expansion slots are, and that's about it. The case has as many hide your wire spots and tie your wire spots as I think any person ever needs. If you can't do it in this case, I don't think you can do it, to be honest with you. Yeah, so I just use this screen to cover up those holes, and it just kind of disappears everything in there. I'm using an older power supply. It still mounts fine. This is the screen from the bottom that slides into the little slotty thingies. There's a lot of ventilation slots down there. It has 4 feet, they're round. There's a bunch of holes for air to come in through there. This side panel comes off with 2 thummy screwies. It came with extra thumb screws. Oh, back to the extra mounting hardware. Extra mounting hardware standoffs. It came with lots of screws for PCI stuff. It came with enough screws to probably mount 4 drives, which it only has capacity for. It didn't come with any twisty ties or anything, but it did come with like a couple long ones that were used to tie up all the front panel I/O stuff. So I just cut it up, and that's what I used for my ties. This is been nominated for best ketchup and mustard build all time. Wire management top 5 universal. Like I said, you got tie off here, you got little stuff here, you can tie stuff. I jammed wires in behind. There's lots of room here, like there's 1 finger of room here. That's a pinky. You can get an index or a thick middle finger. A thumb, if your thumb's the same thickness as your middle finger, you can get both of those in there. Yeah, anyway, that's the back. There's really not much to say. You can mount stuff and tie stuff, and like I said, if you can't do what you need to do in this case, you can't do it in any case. I've got some pretty elderly stuff. Okay. I guess that's it. Yeah, that's literally it. Turtletronix. About the thin material, this is a little bit. It's not bad. It held up great to like me aggressively drilling these holes in there. Oh, it has a lot of space down here. Like you can get 4 good fingers in there, like that much. That's pretty solid, and a thumb, about that much. That's a good review. I don't know what else you need. Everybody says it takes 3 hands to put these on. I say it takes 1 hand and brains. These are great, as far as I'm concerned. They work just fine. You see that? Didn't even have to look. Went right in that hole. Uh-oh. Okay. Shabawi. There she be. That's a wrap, Jack. Just tell your friends this is tempered glass. Think they're gonna know? Okay. Yeah, it's lined up nice. Like I said, the case was built with care. The tolerances on here were great. Like there was whatever company's manufacturing it, whoever's folding it and riveting it and powder coating it and lining up the holes and all those things. Like there's nothing wrong. 79 bucks. CAD, bruh. True beaver money. Is anybody still watching this? Anybody? Turtletronix, if you're still watching it, send me some stuff, bro. Send me all your turtle things. I want turtle doves. I want turtles. I want the turtle V2. I want it all. I want it now. I want it all. I want it all. I want it now. Nice Lego. Is that done?
No, not yet. I still have to put like lots of stuff on it.
Does it go up any higher? No.
No. These are gonna be the
For the tracks? Sickening.
and then there's gonna be a big one somewhere.
Oh, so there's one in the middle, a big big triangle.
Yeah.
That's the drive wheel, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, so my package is at 38 degrees, 37 degrees. I like my package around there. Sometimes it hits around 40 degrees, that package. For ambient here, about 22. The old GPU, she's about 34. We hit 35 per sec, 34, 35, 34, 35, 34, 35. I mean, we're running 36% on speed on that GPU fan and 860 and less for the CPU fan and the intake fan below that GPU. Okay, so yeah, Turtletronix, drill more holes. You just gotta have more holes, especially with those fans. They're weak. Make 2 in the front where they need to go, and put 1 at the back for the exhaust, man. That's it, that's all. Big Daddy computer reviewer out. They were literally just spinning in a vacuum.